So not through the chapter, we're gonna go back to the lesson. So if you want to be able to answer the questions, I suggest, literally, as soon as I start recording. So if you want to be able to answer the questions, I suggest you get to page 20 in your textbook. I never said put your textbooks away. I never said put your textbooks away. I appreciate Liam for not putting his textbook away. I appreciate Nathan and Aiden for not putting their textbooks away. Thank you, Kai. Thank you, Morgan. Yes. Where does she keep her pencils? Yeah, go ahead. All right, so let's see who is listening. All right. Actually, look at page 21. We're going to talk about some vocabulary from that page. What was the return to true religion known as? It's at the bottom of the page. Aiden?
Great Awakening.
Excellent job. It was called the Great Awakening. The return to true religion was called the Great Awakening. Now, there were a series of things that happened that led up to that, and it's a vocabulary word in the middle of the page. Tyler?
Oh, I'm trying.
It's when God works and many people come to know him. Kai?
Revival.
The revival. Very good. Remember, guys, I told y'all, I said, I'm going to say some stuff and I'm going to repeat it. And I repeated myself and I said those things more than one time. So if you were listening and you also are learning, we have to be able to go back into our books and pull out information, okay? It's very important that you guys understand, like, okay, she's asking a question. I don't know the answer to it. But a lot of you guys go, while I'm asking these questions, you're just like, but some of you immediately get that book and you're going through it and you're looking. That's what you guys need to do. If I ask a question and you don't know the answer, know that I just told you that we're looking at page 21. Know that that's going to be the page where the answer is going to be. All right, let's look at page 22. What problems did the Americans face following the Great Awakening? Tyler? You had your hand up. Morgan? War. Very good. So guys, listen up. The French come in and they start claiming all of this land. Remember the other day whenever I told Chloe to get up and I sat in her chair and I said, this is mine now? Y'all remember that? This is yes.
I don't.
You were here. And Chloe said, wait, that's not fair. Get out of my chair. And she was right. Because just like the British came in, or not even the British, but just the new settlers came in and they were like, oh, all of this land is ours now. That's what France started to do. France basically sat in Chloe's chair and said, this is mine now. France came in and they started to claim all the land north and west of the British colonies. The British were starting to consider themselves Americans and they wanted to move west. What direction did the British want to move?
West.
West. Very good. So who did the colonists believe the land out west belonged to? Who did they think that land belonged to? Nathan?
The French.
No? Kai?
The British?
Yeah, the British thought the land belonged to them. They said, we got here first, we settled the colonies, this is ours. But the French came in and they stole Chloe's seat. They didn't really steal Chloe's seat, but that's basically what they did. So, who was sent to talk to the French? Aiden Parker? No, we're looking at page 22 now. Look in your page. Tyler?
Britain.
Nope, a person was sent to go talk to France. Liam?
George Washington.
George Washington. Does anybody else know what George Washington is known for? Tyler?
The first president.
Yeah, well, you call it out, but you got first president. I'm going to give it to you. But make sure that we are raising hands, y'all. We're raising our hands. All right, very good. So what did George Washington tell France to do? Nathan?
They can't go in the children.
No. Aiden?
To leave the island.
Yeah, he said, listen about this, y'all. This land is mine. It's not yours. Belongs to Britain. So I'm going to need you guys to leave. Just like I told Chloe to leave and get up out of her desk and I claimed it for myself. Was that fair?
No.
No. Was it fair for anybody to claim any land that wasn't theirs?
No.
But it's all started back when settlers came into the New World and they started taking the land away from the Indians. It wasn't their land to take. It was so much not their land to take that they called them Indians thinking they were in India when actually they were Native Americans. They were the very first Americans. Now we're starting to see the struggle between Britain and between France. What caused the fighting to begin? Nathan.
When George Washington said they're not allowed at the land.
Yes, George Washington said, listen, I need you guys to get out of the West because the West belongs to us and we're going to settle it. Did France agree to this?
No.
No, France did not agree to this. France was like, no. So then everybody tell me what happened.
They started a war.
They started a war. Very good. Very good. We had one more page to look at, and that was page 23. So, it says, at first the French won many battles. Great. But the British had a plan to win the most important battle. Remember, both sides, they used what to ship their supplies? Tyler? Hint, it's a body of water, and it's not the ocean.
A ship.
They used a ship, but what did they put it on?
They put it on. Wait.
Hold on. Don't call out. I called on Kai.
Where's that one?
What did they go down?
Rivers.
Yes. Yes, rivers. Rivers. So they used the St. Lawrence River, the French did, and the British knew they could do something, and the French couldn't get their supplies. Well, if the French couldn't get their supplies, they would lose the war. What did the British do so the French couldn't get their supplies? Okay?
They made a kind of gate.
They blocked it, right?
Yeah.
They blocked it. Could the French get their supplies now?
No.
Nope, they sure couldn't, because their only way of getting their supplies was blocked. Is that how the British won the war?
Yes.
Who thinks yes? Who thinks no? Well, it is actually how the British won the war. But like I said, did winning the war solve all the problems?
No.
No, winning the war did not solve all of their problems. They did get some land, but their government decided, what did the British government decide?
They can't go to the west.
They can't go to the west. The British government said, all right, well, I know you did all of this to go west, but no, we're not going to let you do that. Do you think the British were happy about this?
No.
No, they're thinking, we just worked so hard, and now our own government is saying, no, we're not going to let you do that. And did it stay being unfair after that?
Yes.
Yes. Remember, what did they do for the war?
Make money.
They paid money. Very good, Rayana. They paid lots of money. Very good. I got Skittles for my ladies over here getting involved in the conversation.
Like 10K?
I don't know exactly how much money it was, but I do know they paid a lot. War is not very cheap. So now, not only did they pay all this money, they only gained a little land, and their own government is saying, you can't go west. Even though that's the reason they did that. Do you think they felt good about that, guys?
No.
I don't think so. Now, here's where it gets real bad. Britain says, hands out of your desk. Britain says, not only can you not go west, and you have to foot the bill for this, now you have to start paying really unfair taxes.
What?
I know, right? Now, Britain said the taxes were fair because it fought to help the Americans. But the Americans did not agree. Did they agree?
No.
No, they did not agree. They did all the fighting. They did all the fort building. So, does that seem to you guys like they're doing all the work?
Yes.
If they did all the fighting and all the fort building, are they doing all the work?
Yes.
Yes. But guess what? The government says, you can't elect any of your own leaders. We're going to keep making all the decisions for you. We're going to keep taking your money, but we're going to keep making you do all the work. Do you think the British were happy?
No.
No, they were not. They didn't get to elect lawmakers, and they had to pay taxes. They thought since they were paying taxes, they should be a part of making the laws. Do y'all agree?
Yes. Yes.
I think so. I think that if I'm paying taxes, which I do because I'm a grown-up, that I should be able to help with making the laws. Well, guess what? I do get to help with making the laws because I get to vote for our local government and I get to vote for the people that help make those laws. I've been given that right by being an American. And when you guys turn 18, you'll have that same right. But we are afforded that right simply because we pay our taxes, we help do the work, so we have that right. And that's where the Americans wanted to get. And that's what's going to lead us tomorrow into speaking and talking about my favorite part of history, the Revolutionary War. So you can go ahead, actually, no, don't close your textbook because you might need it, so keep your textbook out and get that page 12 worksheet. Get that, remember, we're gonna really work on not doing the chatty chicken thing as we move on to something else, okay? I want you guys involved, okay? Just work in your workbook for right now so we can get started and we won't run out of time, okay? Alrighty, let's go ahead and get started. Make sure your name is on at least one side of this. Number 1, what is it called when God works and many people come to know him? Aiden?
It's called the Academy.
No, please don't. Remember, we don't make guesses. If you don't know, don't raise your hand. Make sure you go into your book and you try to find the right answer, okay? Kai? We need to be back over on page 19. Very good, Kai. It's called a revival. Now, please do your best not to just make guesses, guys. If you want to answer, I want you to answer. But when you go into your book to try to find the information, look for what I'm asking and make sure you have your listening ears on, okay? You're talking out. Next person that talks out, I'm writing your name on the board because I'm very tired of being interrupted, okay? And I don't want to do that, but if your name goes on the board, I leave a note for you from Miss Blotzer. All right, number 2. List 2 famous preachers God used to do something special. That's on page 21. Liam?
It was John. It was George.
You're right. George Whitefield was one of them. And who was the other one, Tyler?
George Washington.
No, that's something different that we were talking about. We're already moved on from that. So we have George Whitefield. Who was that? I will turn and see in just a moment. I need you guys not calling out. Yes, Kai.
Jonathan Edwards.
Jonathan Edwards. Very good. Those were the 2 pastors. I gotta remember how to spell. Thank you. So remember, this part of history that we started talking about with this lesson was called the Great Awakening. They brought on major change. The revivals are what started these changes. And we have these 2 pastors, George Whitefield and Jonathan Edwards, that were kind of leading this movement to bring people back to Christ during the Great Awakening. Remember, they said, well, if the Puritans, or not the Puritans, I don't even know what I'm thinking now, if the children of our followers, if their children don't start to believe in God, eventually no one's going to believe in God. So we need to start instilling these things into the heads of our families. All right, so number 3, I'm going to be sad if nobody knows the answer to this because we've talked about it a lot. What is the name of the revival where many people turn to Christ? Liam?
It was called the Great Awakening.
Very good, the Great Awakening. That's the whole big thing. And the Great Awakening, of course, is what we're talking about here. And yeah, it was a very important time for Christianity. Awakening, I promise I can spell. But it also led to some turbulent times as well. I don't know if I skittled you, but I'm going to skittle you because you remembered. Do you have a question, Eden? What's that?
I don't know a lot of space to put the Great Awakening.
You have a whole line under number 3 to put it. Did you put Jonathan Edwards up next to George Whitefield, okay? So just erase them off here because that goes all under number 2, okay?
Can we just put their first name?
Nope, I want both names, please. Thank you. And then number 4, who did the colonists believe the land belonged to? Tyler? Look in your book if you're not sure. You're definitely going to be looking at Oh yeah, there you go. Page 22 is kind of gonna be where we are. I can't talk today. Very good. Britain. The colonists believed the land belonged to Britain, not France. All right, I'm gonna come up here for number 5 so we can see. Excuse me. Number 5, what plan did the British follow that helped them win an important battle? What did they do? Nathan?
They'll stuff off in the ocean.
You're on the right track, but not quite what I'm looking for. Aiden?
They trapped it in a fence. They pulled it in somewhere they couldn't go.
On the right track, but not quite there. I'm looking for a specific word.
They blocked the thing.
Yes, they blocked the St. Lawrence River. And I want all of that on your answer. We need to remember some of these key words. They blocked the St. Lawrence River, because when you guys take a test, some of these words are going to be on there. That's why I want you writing the whole thing. Like they blocked the St. Lawrence River. That's why I wanted first and last names, because these are going to be terms that you need to remember for when we take a test, which is going to be happening very soon. Only have a couple more days of review, and then Monday we're taking a chapter test.
Wait, we're coming back.
Please do not call out and interrupt. I'm very tired of being interrupted. Thank you. All right, number 6. What are 2 reasons that the Americans felt the taxes were unfair? Nathan?
Because they made them pay a whole wall because they couldn't go west.
Yeah, you're exactly right, on the right track. They didn't think it was fair because they didn't get to make their own decisions. So, first of all, they didn't get to elect their own leaders. And that would help with going west. So you're on the right track with that. Also, who did all the work? Tyler? Can I help him out?
It was the British.
The British did all the work. They built the forts, they did all the fighting, but now they have to pay these taxes. So they didn't think it was fair that they didn't get to elect their own leaders. Also, they did all the work. That's why they didn't think it was fair. Again, stuff that you're going to be seeing on the test. It's important you're paying close attention to this, guys. Not just copying what we do up here on the board, but being involved. All right, once you get those, actually put your pencils down real fast. Put your pencils down real fast. Pencils down in 3, 2, 1. Please listen the first time. Thank you, guys. Okay, so I'll let you have a chance. I'm not going to erase this before it's time to go. But the bottom part of your page is going to be something you work on independently. That means it's on your own. All right? So number 7 says to color the area that both France and Britain claimed. Well, you have a map on page 22 of your textbook that will help you with this. Number 8, color the key to match the map. So if you take an orange crayon and you color that land, you need to color in your key with an orange crayon. If you use blue, you need to put blue on your key. Because remember, your key needs to match your map. Remember, we talked about how to use a map. And then I want you to label the St. Lawrence River. I'm not helping with this because all of what you need is right here in your textbook on page 22. So finish copying what you see up here on the board. If you have any questions about what we've discussed, I can chat with you in seats Aiden Vanderberg. But when you're all finished copying that down, label that map, and then be ready for me to come pick this up before class is over. All right, you guys may begin. Let me know if you have questions.